I was gonna not make this video, but then Joel started yelling at me, so I'm gonna make it. Anyway, culture. Culture is a thing that I'm very, very interested in because of, like, more so than most people. My mom is an English as a second language teacher at a high school, meaning none of her students are American, meaning she speaks in a very enunciated tone to the point where people ask if she is actually from America. Most people think she is not because of how accented it is. It is essentially its own accent. But very few people talk in this manner except for ESL teachers. And because she is an ESL teacher, this has heavily impacted me into being incredibly interested in other countries. Once I realized that the internet could be a valid platform to make friendships with people from other countries, and that I didn't have to actually go on like a study abroad program just to make friends with people from other countries, my mind kind of exploded a little bit. I love being able to talk to people with completely different culture views from me. Like, certain things you don't do in America. Like, if you start being like, yeah, do you want to go out for tea? People just start looking at you weird. I just think it's very, there are certain Britishisms and things in culture that I think are really cool that I wish would be normal in America, but then you would be labeled as too pretentious. Like, when I'm talking to any of my Brits and I just start going into an English accent, they're like, you're the cutest thing, I love you. But when I'm just out and about, people will start looking at me weird and thinking I'm just really pretentious. Other things that have influenced me. I grew up in a soccer mom neighborhood, which is populated by minivans and Baptist churches and very narrow-minded views on everything. If you do not participate in the PTA, if your child was not in the Girl or Boy Scouts, if you were not Baptist, if you just also if you were in any manner, shape, or form involved with a divorced family, which my mom and dad got divorced when I was 4. So people kind of look down upon us a little bit. Not to the degree where it's very obvious, but there was the definite people not seeing us on the same plane. The area that I grew up in was right on the border of two neighborhoods. On one side was the soccer mom variety, and right across the street, albeit a very busy, this is one of the main streets in my neighborhood, that if you try and cross it on foot you will die, is the Juberhood. But, so I've also gotten a lot of just isms, little isms that you pick up from people that are Jewish. I've kind of picked those up. Like, it's not, I don't say them very often, but like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, this person I'm catching the other day about everything, it was really annoying. I think just because of that, I've definitely separated myself from the rest of the South. Like, there used to be a joke of, if you say y'all in our family, you got grounded. That was like our joke, because we did not embrace Southern, I guess, pride is what you would call it, at all. The only Southern thing I do is I call everyone like honey or sweetie, darling. That is a thing that we do here. When you walk into a diner in Texas, the waitress will say, hi sweetie, can I get you anything? Like, it doesn't matter who they are, you call them sweetie or honey or darling. Also, just the fact that I grew up on Eddie Izzard and Monty Python and everything John Cleese ever possible. And Stephen Fry and just all these brilliant comedians and folks that are just very, very good at what they do. And that is there's just been so many things of which doesn't make sense for me to like to most Americans, because I grew up in a very narrow-minded thing where you have to watch Disney and you have to watch the family flicks, and I'm like, no. For Christmas, we didn't watch It's a Wonderful Life. We watched a random artsy flick. The first year we did this, we watched The Great Dictator by Chaplin. We're weird people.